Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Cave Story. On the last episode, we made it about halfway through the egg corridor and just picked up our first new weapon, the missile launcher. So our first order of business in this one is going to be to level that missile launcher up to level 3. How we're going to do that is by using the Polar Star, which is already maxed out, to kill enemies, and then we'll just switch to the missile launcher when we're going to pick up the experience. Which is a good way of kind of exploiting the system in order to level up your weapons as quickly as possible. The missile launcher has downsides, as it does in every game where it appears. Namely that ammunition is limited for it, and highly limited in fact. I think that's actually the first time I got hit the entire Let's Play so far, which hopefully is not a sign of things to come. But in any case, the missile launcher also has extreme benefits, and in particular, it's great for boss fights. And actually there's a lot of places in the game where you can level up your missiles, or I shouldn't say level up because that's used for something else in this game, but where you can increase your missile capacity, which makes it more of an effective weapon the longer you go throughout the game, provided you're at least willing to take some time and look for these collectibles. So what we're going to do now is find egg number 1. As we saw on that screen with the save point, there were 2 eggs with abnormal conditions. One was 6 and one was 1. So here we are entering 1. We're going to insert the ID card that we got from egg 6 and lower the shield, which was that kind of red lightning zigzag that was on the right side of our screen before. And once we get through the door that was blocked by the shield, we will basically enter into a boss fight. This is an enraged Mamiga, but he goes by the name of Igor in the game. And we don't really know what's up with this guy, his backstory, how he was created or anything like that at this point. But as the game goes on, we will learn more and more about how the Mamigas enter this frenzied state. In terms of like gameplay or difficulty, this boss is not really difficult at all. You saw that I used my missiles on him to start with, and you only have 10 missiles, so this can take off maybe half to 2/3 of his health when you use them appropriately. But you're just as well using the Polar Star for the rest of the fight, or even for the entire fight if you want, because he's not too difficult. In fact, he's not really difficult at all. And none of the boss fights have been tricky thus far, but some of them that come up later in the game are actually quite difficult, and my first time through the game required me to practice a lot. So that save spot was blocked for now. We'll enter into this other room and talk to Sue, who is on the ground, sufficiently shamed after she died, or fainted in the Pokemon sense of the word, from one hit from Igor. She asked, did I save her? No, I didn't really. I want her to think that she saved herself. I'm not sure how that dialogue changes what happens in the game, but in any case. I like how she says, this looks like this could be egg number 00. Like, what tells you that? The big Banksy airbrushing or graffiti on the side of it? Eggs that hatch what? We don't really know right now, but again, that's something that will reveal itself as the game progresses. So now she's kind of alluded to the next quest that we're going to have, which is to find her brother. And her brother, we do not know who it is yet, but we have met him. If you haven't played the game, that's the only hint I'm going to give you. And we also learned that we are not from this land. Maybe we're from somewhere else in this universe. And the story about quotes thickens and thickens. So Sue leaves, and then we'll just check this out. Input password. It always reminds me. It just struck me as reminding me of that scene in the movie Swordfish. Does anyone remember that, where the guy had to like hack into the Department of Defense while getting oral sex? The best hackers in the world can do this in 30 minutes. I need someone who can do it in 30 seconds. They totally should have put a scene like that in Cave Story. I think it really would have enhanced the atmosphere of the game. It would have been totally badass. In any case, now we're basically just leaving the egg corridor. And this would be a good time if you lost any health, or not even health, because you had an opportunity to replenish your health back there at the save point, but a good time to replenish your experience if you got hit during that boss fight. Which, you probably will your first time through the game. Not everyone can expect to be such a Cave Story master their first time through the game. Actually, I totally sucked at this game my first time through. didn't resort to using a walkthrough because I would probably hate myself considering I'm a full-grown male. But I did have some trouble. I got stuck at some bosses for a while, so it's a difficult game. I'd say the challenge level is actually like pretty much perfect. I never felt like it was overly hard, but definitely the fact that there is some challenge and some resistance is a welcome change from what seems like so many modern games which just are not interested in challenging the player at all. I grew up in that era where, when you die, and there might not be many continues, so you gotta get pretty damn good before you can actually beat a game. Beating a game was an accomplishment that was a testament to your skill, not just how long you could sit down in front of the screen. Modern games, they're difficult in their own way sometimes, but I really miss this retro kind of challenge level. Of course, I'm waxing nostalgic right now, which is just pathetic, but in any case, that's how I feel. And we'll now take the teleporter back to Arthur's house. And we're going to get a little bit of an exposition on the story here. Executing chat algorithm is my favorite line in that dialogue for sure. So now we find out, yes, Sue is Kazuya's sister, or Kazuma's sister. So, now we have a little bit of a relationship established there between those two. They're not just two unrelated characters. And we find out the eggs are actually dragon eggs, which may play into how we end the game a little bit later, as those of you who have played the game already know. So we find out that we are about to head to Grasstown, basically. And what we're going to do in Grasstown is rescue this guy right here, and then, also pick up some items along the way and learn a little bit more about the mechanics of the game. If I could be more vague about that, I absolutely would be. Kazuma, not Kazuya. Anyway, so now our teleporter is outfitted to travel to Grasstown, and you can go back and forth between worlds as much as you want, but for the most part, you can pretty much take the game on in a linear path. You very rarely have to go back. There's only one part where I know for sure you have to go back to a level, and that comes much, much later in the game. But of course, you could always go back and explore the worlds if you feel that you might have missed some collectibles. So now King busts in, and of course, if we remember, he still blames Sue for Toroko getting kidnapped, and they're going to try to, do some kind of James Bond prisoner exchange where they give Sue and in exchange get Toroko, but knowing the Doctor, I have a feeling this probably would not work. So now we've finished our long traveling time through that instantaneous teleporter, and we're just going to save and end it here. I'll see you in the next part.